Hello. In previous videos, you've learned how to use a for loop, a basic for loop, to either count through a set of numbers and do something within a for loop while you're counting, or you learned how to fill an array, and then also to traverse it in order to print out the contents of the array. So in this video, you will learn how to use another type of loop called a while loop. Now, the while loop is used in a very similar way to what a for loop is used for, and you see how similar it is once you've gone through this video. So let's get started. I have a new class called while loop, and then within it I have a main method already defined. Here in line 6 I have a integer variable, integer num, and initialized it to 0. Now here's a new thing starting on line 8. Here's the while loop. The keyword that we use is while. While some Boolean expression between these parentheses. While this Boolean expression is true, we do everything that's in between of the while loop, in between these two braces here, curly braces. So what do we do inside of a while loop? Well, we can do anything that we want to as long as this Boolean condition is true. So here we have, we're going to keep doing what's inside of the while loop while this num integer is less than 10. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and print out the integer Okay, now what's going to happen is if we keep printing it out, running through this while loop, because num is always 0, this will continue to print and continue to print and continue to print, because num will always be 0, which is always less than 10, and as long as the computer has electricity and the JVM is running, this will just keep running. So what we want to do is have some condition where we change num and in fact increase it, and the best way that we have already learned how to do that is to increment num at every turn of this while loop. So we do this, and then the first time we run through this loop, num is 0, we print it out. Now we increment num becomes 1, we come back to the top of the loop, we check this condition again, check this Boolean expression. Num is now 1. 1 is still less than 0, so we keep going through until we increment num from 9 to 10. Now, 10 is no longer less than 0. In fact, 10 is equal to 0. So now that this Boolean expression evaluates to false, we stop running the while loop, we get out of it, and then we execute statements that would be written here from line 14 on. So less, which happens to be nothing, so we end the main method, and then we end the class, and then we exit from the JVM. So let's build this and run it and see what happens. Build this successful, so we're going to run it now. And I'm going to pause the time. Here we go, we're just ready to run here. And there you have it. Num starts from 0, goes all the way to 9, and then we increment on line 11. Num is now 10. 10 is no longer less than 0, and we exit. In fact, we do exit, and we're done with that program. Now, it seems excessively very similar to a for loop. This while loop seems very similar to a for loop. So why do we have a different set of structure and set of syntax for very similar to something that we've done already, or in fact we can do just as well with a for loop. The while loop is best used when you actually don't know when the condition is going to end. The condition to end that particular loop is going to happen. So let's say you have a game where you are detecting key presses, and if you press the keys more times than the the end of the screen on the right side, then this would happen, or rather the bottom of the screen. So if you keep pressing, having a key press, and it's more, at some point is more than the bottom of the screen, then you want to not do this particular loop anymore. So this is useful. Again, the while loop is useful when you don't know when a particular condition or how many times this particular loop really needs to execute. Whereas a for loop, you have a mostly you have a predetermined number of times that that loop is going to be traversed. And there you have it, the while loop.